Hey guys, I'm Bailey Bruce. Thanks, Taylor, for the introduction. I'm a first time storyteller, but I have attended most Guts and Glory events because I work at the Woolly and the Depot. We're proud hosts of Guts and Glory, and we truly miss having you guys and can't wait for everything to get back to normal. Here is my first job story. So I was a Navy brat growing up, which meant an ever changing childhood, including making new friends, seeing new states, going to 7 different primary schools. In 2003, my family was stationed in Gulfport, Mississippi, and after 28 years of service, my dad retired from the Navy. My father accepted a post Navy job in Key West with the National Weather Service. I was a freshman in high school and 14 years old. You'd think the prospect of moving to paradise would far outshine living in a small town in Mississippi. But I was an angsty 14-year-old after all, with a solid set of friends, finally. After what I imagine was much begging and pleading, my parents had a good friend they let me stay at to finish my freshman year of high school. And my mom and dad moved on down to Key West. Living with my parents' friend is a whole other story in itself, maybe for another time. After a handful of months, I made the move down to Key West in the summer of 2003. Move number 6 of my life. For the 6th time, I knew no one, was starting all over again, during summer, when school was not in session. My parents had a small rental on Sugarloaf Key, which is mile marker 20 in the Keys. Whenever someone finds out that I lived in the Keys, the same statement usually comes, "Wow, that must have been amazing." And my response, in a polite manner, is usually, "Can you imagine being a teenager in Key West?" As a teen that didn't care for boating, fishing, drinking, there was not much for me there. The closest mall was 3 hours away in Miami. A few miles up the road was a video store called Summerlin Video on Summerlin Key. My parents took me there to rent DVDs my second day living in the Keys. I saw a sign on the door that they were hiring. I leapt at the opportunity to have something to do, my first job. I was hired within the first week I was there. Fun side note, while working my first job that summer, one of my video store customers was a volunteer firefighter, and he recruited me to become a fire explorer. The Fire Explorer program is for teenagers to learn about firefighting, but mostly I got to wash the fire truck. Fast forward to now, and my husband is a firefighter. I like to say I was a firefighter before him. Anyway, back to 2003 at Summerlin Video. Working at a video store was a blast. While most kids my age spent their summer traveling, going to camp, relaxing on the beach, I got to watch movies during my shifts every day. I got free rentals, and I got to take home all the big old movie posters that were in the window. It was an ideal job for a teenager. But best of all, I got to interact with people. I also got to rewind VHSs, learn how to do money, and I even added the coveted key holder title to my resume that summer. While I worked there, I got to witness the transition from VHS to DVD as well. But the most interesting part of my job was that there was an adult section in the back. I always had a good time noticing the anxious squirming of the adults walking by me, trying to be nonchalant as they made their way to the back. Fast forward a year or so, and I was fully ingrained in the Keys. The population is pretty small, and it's definitely the you-know-everyone feel. One day, the video store door opened. I turned to greet the customer, and it was a mom of a girl I went to high school with. I gave her my friendly hello, and she was awkward and barely said hi to me. I thought, maybe she's in a weird mood? She quickly shuffled toward the back. That's what's up. She entered the adult section. It had a little door to create a sort of cage of privacy. And a little while later, she walked out and approached the checkout counter. And I usually engage the customer in a bit of small talk. How's so and so? Boy, it's hot outside. Man, that's an awesome movie. But I could feel the embarrassment heat radiating off of this mom. I quickly checked her out and freed her out the door. All the while, I'm thinking, you do you, girl. But knowing that that was not appropriate banter for a teenager to an adult. The video rental industry was on the gradual decline. With the increase in downloading movies and Netflix in the forefront, people didn't need to rent movies anymore. My boss was a wonderful boss lady. Side note, she sold me my first car, but she was making desperate attempts to stay afloat. She added ice cream into the shop one day, and little old Bailey developed a little bit of upper body strength that summer. I was once yelled at for not getting the ice cream all the way down into the cone. I never made that mistake for the rest of my life. A few months later, my boss added packaged trail mix, snacks, gift baskets to the shop as well. I worked at Summerlin Video throughout my 3 years in the Keys, all the way until I started college at the University of Florida in 2006. I'm so thankful my parents took me up to that store years and years ago. Having my first job saved me from a lonely summer in a new environment. I also credit my first job for my work ethic. I started at such a young age that it's almost like I don't know how to not have a job. When I moved to college, my parents told me I could take a year off from working. I took a semester off. Looking back at my first job, it's pretty awesome to be a part of what is now a dead industry, sort of a badge of honor, a special secret nostalgia younger generations will never fully understand. And that's my first job story. Hope you enjoyed.